let's get it cooking. This is the market update for May 26th. All the numbers are going up. That's what I'm seeing at first glance on the market at a glance page here, including the number of homes sold and inventory, and most importantly, the average sales price is going way up. So we'll get into details here. First of all, let's talk about the volume that we're doing. It's a lot more than before. Danny, what do you see?
We had been talking each month about the seasonality of this, and we've been talking about that the last couple of months. And you can see that things have definitely been opening back up as we get into the busy season here for us. But wow, look at that. 2,500, over 2,500 homes sold last month. That's higher than any month last year. That's crazy. And typically we still go up from here, right? If you look at last year, what happened in June, what happened in July, those typically are even higher than May. So I think this is very encouraging in terms of, just what's going on in our market, the level of activity. And you can see there that we've also got a little over 3,500 homes currently active in that same area. And with that level of consumption from last month, that puts us at 1.4 months of supply, which is very, very quick, right? It's still quick, not as fast as it had been during the peak periods of time where we're looking at just 3 weeks of inventory, but this is still historically very quick, a very active market. So yeah, big rebound for us this month. Up, what is that? 23% month over month, 11% up year over year.
Yeah, it's a lot of homes sold in May. And the interesting part is we still have very high inventory after that. So we've been saying the market's been bouncing. This is a correction to knock down some of that inventory, I believe. But we still haven't put that much of a dent in it if we are still up on inventory. Now, the good news for all homeowners here, if we're looking directionally at how this market's going, we are way up in the actual sold price, at least the average. So Danny, let's take through the numbers because this is good news for everyone that's currently a homeowner.
Right. Yeah. So again, you see we are up above where we were at any point last year. Just over $440,000 was the average list price, and the actual sold price came in not that far below at $436,000 and change. Again, higher than any point last year. You see the trend for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 months coming out of the winter where we were slow. Things are waking up, we're rebounding, and we're off to the races here for the busy selling season. Also, you'll note that those lines are very closely, they're almost converged at this point. And that's the other change over the winter is you see how far spread out they were. Typically, we just look at that as an indication of a lack of competition in the market, right? Not as many people really competing for the available inventory. And it appears that that is back at this point. We're up 4% month over month, which is about $16,000, up 5%, almost $20,000 from the same time last year.
Yeah, good news for everyone. And if you can look back at the convergence, this is when it would have come closest. Now we'll see if that continues for last month. We're not crossing over like we did in years past. That's a factor of the balancing market. We used to go way above asking. On average, the sales price would exceed the average. Now we're under it just a little bit, as to be expected in the hot markets. Let's see what it does next month, because we should be separating this month and next month are supposed to be our hottest months. Now, another factor that reflects that, or graph that reflects that, is percentage over and under asking. Daniel, I'll let you take us through this.
This one, again, you can see the blue, the big blue band there is most of the home sales, right? That's you typically about 2/3, maybe 70% in some months. Those are things that went within 5% above or below what they were asking, right? So what we're interested in here is the things that are beyond those margins, right? So the things in the green went more than 5% of their asking price. The things in the orange went more than 5% below their asking price. And you can see the trend there over time. Again, you see the winter where things slowed down. You had many more things going below asking than above asking. And now we're getting back to a point where that orange line is receding. The green section is growing month over month. And again, that's pretty typical for this time of year. We expect that we have another couple of months where things look to be about the same. as we continue into the summer season.
Yeah. And if the trends continue, this line of thought, this graph will continue May and June, and then we'll start to back off a bit again in July and August. Now, days of the market is way down as to be expected if a lot of people are buying houses and there are good options in inventory. That number is going to be lower. 27 on average and 7 as a median. Median's a better indicator. That's not the lowest as we've seen this point last year, but it's pretty close. It's effectively the same number. And then real quick, I'm going to move on because the number of sales with a price reduction has dropped to below actually where we were last year.
Right. Yeah. And I think that these are both really good graphs. I mean, the days on market, what we had seen last year was it was an echo of all the years before where things slowed down in the winter, they heated up and went faster during the spring and summer months. We still see that, but last year it was a couple days out of phase. It was a little bit longer at all points in the year compared to the year before. And this is the first time we've gotten, I think, really this close, just 7 days as the median compared to 6 days at this time last year. So that'll be a watch item for us. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, to be just 23% of homes sold last month after a price reduction, that's better than any time last year. And again, you see the trend. We've gone over the peak. Who knows where we go from here? I imagine it'll be somewhere in this area over the next 2-3 months.
Yeah, and if we're forecasting the peak there, you can see December, January of this past year, those were a lot higher number of houses with price reductions compared to same time a year ago. I guess it'd be a year and a half at this point. So higher peaks, we're expecting lower valleys. We'll see. It's a little bit lower than this time last year. I would not be surprised if that trended down a little bit more into June. Now, interest rate is 6.48%. As an average, that's 6.5%. There is no 6.48% that you're going to see. But that's a little bit higher than we've seen in the past 6 months or so. It's been fluctuating. We'll just have to follow it as we go. According to all the numbers, this is showing us that we're less than this point last year, but we've seen intermittent interest rates from here.
Yeah, we just kind of been bouncing around in that zone. I mean, you can see where things have been now for a couple of years, all the way on the right-hand side of this chart. They're just kind of bouncing around between 6 and 7%. No reason to think we won't continue to do that for a while here.
Yeah, in the past 3 years, I'd say we've touched 5.99 on average once, and that's the end of last year. So we'll see where we continue to go as everything develops. But for now, this is the area that we're looking at. Last map is our heat map, basically. And 43081 is our new winner on the number of homes sold. That is northeast. Is that Westerville, Worthington?
Yep, Westerville.
Westerville, little part of Westerville. 106 houses sold. That's the first time that anybody's beat Grove City in maybe years. Long time. So we've seen a lot of activity here, heating up throughout Northwest. Grove City's still hot, of course. It's an affordable sector of town. But Westerville, don't sleep on it. And then Hilliard's coming up fast with 92 homes sold. This is the map of what we're tracking. These are our own numbers. Danny pulls them every month. Thank you for always doing that, Danny. And let's continue to track and let's see what happens next month. For now, let's talk about advice to buyers in this market based on the numbers. What do you think, Danny?
Well, I think it's pretty clear that there's a lot more competition. I mean, the good news is you've got more inventory to choose from, but you're seeing things going really quick. Not a lot of days on market. You're seeing things going increasingly without a price reduction. In some cases, going above asking. You know, I think you got to be ready to compete in terms of your offer. Probably going to have to go above asking. You're probably going to start to think about things around contingencies, whether you're going to, hold inspections. We always recommend that people still keep an inspection on their offer, but maybe step back from saying we're going to require any repairs. It's no problem for you to go in there and get the inspection done, get an idea of what work might have to happen with that house, what risk might be there, and reserve the right to walk away from the deal if needed. But I think a lot of buyers sometimes find that to be very competitive, that they're not going to be forced to make repairs or further concessions, right? And so we've had a lot of success with that. I'd be prepared for offers of that nature for sure.
Yep, that's good advice. I believe if you're finding a house that is in great shape and attractively priced, other people will be seeing that too. So that's correct advice for buyers or sellers. Keep in mind, seasonality is real. Right now is the hottest month, probably into June. And then after that, we start to trail off. The buyers are finding their houses now. So if you're a seller, hopefully you've been talking to your agent for the last couple of months and you're about ready to go. If you haven't already been a part of this activity, if not, got to get on it and let's see what happens. That's the advice to sellers. So we'll keep this going. Let's see what happens next month, and we'll see you then. Thanks as always, Danny.